Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey and this is Audrey Curates. We are currently in the process of decluttering most of the rooms in our house, and as you can see, perhaps you can spot the mess over there. I went through the whole process of decluttering my bedroom, getting rid of a lot of notes, a lot of school notes, a lot of books and other things that I don't find useful anymore. And last weekend we were decluttering our study. I always love going through this library because this was my grandfather's and we have a lot of items from his that we haven't gotten rid of because obviously they are collections, they are collectibles, and I will hopefully perhaps next year do a series on the items I have from my grandfather's collection and how I will be taking care of it. I will take you through the whole process of me actually cataloging it, making sure that everything is stored appropriately and things like that. That is a project for next year though. At the moment we're on a mission to get rid of most of the stuff we don't need. And while we were decluttering, we came across photo albums, and a subject that I always tend to come back to is print versus digital. So what is the debate that is between print and digital? When it comes to print, obviously we went through a phase. I especially knew a phase where we had film cameras, so we had to take photos, wait a couple of months and then get the prints. And I also know the digital aspect of it, digital photography, where everything is stored on cloud, on Google Photos, on OneDrive. However, I always find myself thinking, what method do I prefer? And I wanted to share my opinion with you because photography has become more accessible with smartphones, cameras, mirrorless cameras, DSLRs, and we get so much technology, but then again, we don't print off pictures. Obviously, we have print. It costs a lot of money, it takes a bit of space, but then again, you can access it whenever you want. You can share it with others, and also you can have these nice little moments, little memories that you can share with others, which honestly digital has. So you can access them from anywhere. It is not expensive, although it depends if you're buying a Google Drive subscription or if you're buying hard drives. It's similarly expensive, and then of course you can access it from anywhere, because if you put it on the cloud you only need a smartphone, a tablet or a computer. Both of them have their own potential, and I think we're moving into more of a digital world. I mean, we are there already, but we're moving into more of a digital world. But I have been victim of many hard drives breaking, and subsequently my heart breaking as well, because one day my hard drive worked and I was thinking of backing it up, but the next day this hard drive decided not to work. So I ended up losing about 500 gigabytes worth of photographs and videos of our travels and family photos that I can never get back. I tried recovering it. I took it to people who actually can recover my things, but they told me it's best to buy a laptop instead of spend so much money or getting the data. And I honestly went through a phase where I just wanted to print everything. I want to print everything, I want to print every photograph, and this comes from a place where I have lost some important people in my life past year. And honestly, when I lost the hard drive, I lost a lot of photos of them, and it's sort of remembering them in a way, and of course listening to their voices from the videos and things like that. And honestly, it brought me back to times where I used to have my old PC computer, and one day it randomly just didn't want to start. I think the motherboard went, and I had so many images of my grandparents, and I obviously had to get them back, but they couldn't recover everything. And it's honestly so sad because I was using digital as a way to preserve these memories, and then I lost everything. I started uploading everything this past year, and obviously what I have lost now I have lost. But it brings me back to the wish of wanting to print everything. An example was this weekend. So we came across a bunch of photographs of my parents building my house, my house. I wish I had my house, but yes. We came across this bunch of photographs of my parents building the house. So they documented every single step they did, from the first step until the last step. And we just went through these photographs, and my parents and I were just talking about seeing my mom with a shovel trying to shovel off some dirt, and my dad just posing with his shovel on the back, and then seeing the house gradually built and things they purchased at the time. It honestly brought me back to the power of photography. In museum collections, there is this power of memory, and it's usually mainly focused on photography because obviously when photography came around, we started documenting life as it is. Through photography, nowadays, us researchers can learn so much, but then again, we help other people keep the memories alive. So if it wasn't for the series of images of my parents building the house, I wouldn't have known that it took them a lot of months to build it. I wouldn't have seen my grandfather, who sadly passed away, building our bathroom, or else my father just chilling with a shovel on his shoulders. And it's such a great, powerful memory, and also discussion and sharing, because I wasn't born yet, so it would have been a few years before I was born, and it was honestly so nice to just see a different memory, because obviously before I used to see these images, but I never sat down and actually went through these images with my parents there, so I could actually hear anecdotes of them building, of my grandfather giving them advice, etc, etc. And it brought the wish back to actually print stuff again. I started this project with myself where every time I receive my pay, I just dedicate about 50 to 60 euros to get them printed. The cost of them being printed obviously would also include me getting an album and doing some sort of scrapbooks and things like that. But then again, I told myself that if I wanted to invest in me printing them, it would also mean me investing in a hard drive, for example, because obviously the same price of printing them would be actually purchasing a good hard drive, a good 1 terabyte hard drive, if I believe, for the same price. And that was a project of mine that I wanted to do. When life gives you lemons, just make lemonade, and that's what I did. I think that when I lost my recent hard drive, I was like, that's it, I am printing everything off, because I wish that if I have my own family one day, I have something to show them and be like, these were your grandparents, we went to these places, we saw these things, etc, etc. And this is the result. So this is my lemonade. So basically, when I lost my hard drive, as I told you, I started investing in photographs, and then of course getting albums. And this is us on our trip to Slovenia, which was great, amazing. It was a very beautiful family holiday, and honestly it brings back so many memories. And that is one type of lemonade I did. And last December, during Christmas, when I was back home, I printed our trip to Mannheim, Germany, when we went to see Backstreet Boys. And I did this type of scrapbooking. Oh my goodness, it's a huge... Wait. I did this type of album. So I used acid-free photo corners, which is something I would recommend if you're doing any albums like this or scrapbooks, because acid-free, it's in its name, it's acid-free. Usually normal tape or sticking glue at the back of the photograph is very harmful. so we tend to recommend acid-free photo corners, and that is what I did. And let me show you some images from a concert, and obviously you can customize it however you want, to be honest. I just have it like that. So yes, so my thoughts on everything. I think both are useful. I think that digital is useful because obviously we cannot have everything printed. I don't want to print any photographs that don't make me feel in some sort of way. I mean, honestly, technology nowadays has made us take photographs of anything and everyone, and sometimes you need to prioritize what images. I usually prioritize family photographs and family trip, and one day I wish to have some albums dedicated to my life as a teenager, cringe on everything on the photographs I used to take, being an emo with the fringe like that, etc, etc. But honestly, first priority would be photography, and I am not planning on printing everything. And then of course digital will help because obviously everything now is on the cloud nowadays, and it will be easy for me to access childhood memories, family trips when I'm speaking to someone or discussing anything, which is great. So I am off because my battery is flashing and I wish to finish this video. So make sure to like this video, subscribe, let me know down below what you prefer, whether it's print or digital, and let's start a discussion. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and have a lovely evening / afternoon / morning. Did that in reverse, but that's fine. Bye bye. Here comes the mug.